It's the What About Dragons shirt. It's pretty cool. Available on Teespring. It's very odd me speaking this quietly. I'm not used to it. Dragons!
Shadowverse.
Greetings, I'm Shad, and I'm here to tell you that the Disney castles that you can go and see at the Disney theme parks are tricking you. They're pulling the wool over your eyes. There's an illusion happening here that you might not be aware of, and I wasn't aware of for a good long time, until I actually visited one. My mum took the whole family to a big family holiday to Disneyland, and of course I wanted to have a good close look at the castle, and when I did, I noticed something rather odd. It's that the buildings behind the outer walls are actually built to a smaller scale. Now, I only noticed this because I'm a castle enthusiast and I was studying it quite close, but yes, they're actually built to a smaller scale, and we can double check this. Now, first of all, I should mention which castles I'm referring to, because there's more than one Disney castle. The oldest castle, and the one you might be most familiar with, is what is known as the Sleeping Beauty Castle. It was this castle that was heavily inspired by Neuschwanstein, but not necessarily the other Disney castles. The other iconic Disney castle is the Cinderella Castle, and this is much more in common with the Disney castle that you see in the Disney logo that they play before their films. It is this castle that I consider to be the most official Disney castle, and in fact, I've made a full review of this castle, analysing its historical authenticity, its realism, and also how practical and effective it is as a castle. So if you're interested in hearing my thoughts on this, please do go check out that video. I'll put a card here and a link in the description below. And the contrast between the castle that they use in their logo and the ones at their theme parks is that the main official Disney castle is not made with this trick, this illusion. So let's double check the sizes and confirm this. Here is a nice high definition picture of the Cinderella Castle, and here is a picture of me scaled to the right size. And to be fair, due to perspective, this would be my size at the front of the tunnel, and this would be my size at the back of the tunnel, and so we'll measure off a height in between those two values, which of course represent my size if I was standing directly in the middle. And I seem to be at the appropriate height to the front walls, but now let's take my image and move me up to the keep. See how big I am compared to the keep now? And then in addition, let's move my image up to the tower. See the height of the door on this tower? This door gives everyone who looks at the tower a natural point of reference they register subconsciously. That's a door. Doors are supposed to be a little taller than a person. Therefore, the size and height of this tower must be pretty large and impressive, but in reality, it's actually half the height. So what is actually happening here? What is this illusion? Well, it is called forced perspective. Now, perspective is the natural phenomenon where things look smaller the further they are away. And so forced perspective is when you shrink an object size down more than what it naturally would appear, and so to us, unless we really focus on it and notice that, hang on, that object is actually sitting closer than what it should be for its size thanks to our depth perception, we assume that that object is actually sitting further back than what it really is. The reverse of this is lining something up in the background to make it appear or seem like it's interacting with something in the foreground, which then gives the impression that these two things, which are actually very far apart, are much closer. That's how they got a lot of the hobbits in the Lord of the Rings movies to appear so short, just one of the techniques. One of the advantages of this is that if we are tricked into thinking that an object is actually further away from us, it can be built much smaller and yet appear very large, and this is exactly what they've done with the Disney castles. You can clearly see the advantages in this because it enables them to cut a lot of corners and use far less materials than what they would have needed to compared to if they had built everything on a one-to-one scale. So there you go, and now you know. And if you'd like to see more of my castle-related videos, please remember to subscribe or even check out my in-depth review and analysis of the official Disney castle. I hope to see you there, and until that time, farewell.